about to get underway. So the red lights are on now. The Rebs get tries. Who's going to make the jump from the line? Away we go. And it's a good getaway from Elliot Norris. It's also a superb getaway from Achille Corbellati. And well away too from those two. It's a terrible start from Charles Bowman, who is going to be swamped and be about 6th or 7th into Paddock for the first time. And so also well away well is Mark Lewis. So it's going to be Elliot Norris from Achille Corbellati and then Mark Lewis with a spinner at the bottom of Paddock bend. And another one's gone round and he veers back towards the circuit and he's narrowly avoided by several others. And that may have actually been Samantha Finn, possibly, who was the second of the cars to spin in sympathy, but more or less everybody cleanly through. No damage done. So that's the important thing. As tiptoeing through Greville Bend is Elliot Norris. A big slide from Achille Corbellati, an even bigger slide from Charles Bowman, who manages to hold it. That was very nicely done. As Glenn Freeman looks to challenge on the inside of Mark Lewis as they accelerate towards Surtees. That's going to be for third position. Lewis doesn't want to give it to him. There's not an awful lot of space there. As another one goes around at the bottom of Greville Bend. So it's been a lively start to the race. The car that started that all is number 3. We've got several cars also off at Surtees. Again, a little bit of damage, a couple of mudguards. Very difficult conditions for these drivers. Not that it matters to Elliot Norris because he is leading this race in 5-star from Achille Corbellati. We've got 3 abreast in Paddock Bend for their first lap at racing speed, and it's Glenn Freeman who launches to the inside of Mark Lewis, and Glenn Freeman goes into 3rd position. That was nicely done. In 5th place is Rob Chappell, who was picked out as the man to watch, so he goes through to 4th past Mark Lewis around the outside, and in fact he's going to challenge Glenn Freeman for 3rd into Druids, which he does. Glenn Freeman not covering the line off in time. The car that hasn't come through, unfortunately, is number 9. So James Markley is out of the race. That's a great pity for him in such early stages. As the line of oil through Graham Hill Bend, they all slither around, but it's Achille Corbellati who's got Rob Chappell, Glenn Freeman, Mark Lewis, and the recovering Charles Bowman on his tail. So these drivers are really getting the hang of what it's like to race a Caterham. As some slightly variant lines into Surtees amongst this superb dice that's shaping up for 2nd place, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them all squabbling over 2nd. It's rather allowing Elliot Norris to do a Jamie Alton tribute act here at the head of the field, because he is just driving away from the rest of the pack. So Norris completing the 2nd lap of the race. He sets perhaps unsurprisingly fast lap of the race, as well as we have got then Rob Chappell looking to challenge and going through the inside of Achille Corbellati. So Rob Chappell goes into 2nd place, Corbellati down to 3rd, Glenn Freeman in 4th, Charles Bowman it is in 5th, and he's going to challenge Glenn Freeman as well on the climb up towards Druids. And Freeman is not going to be able to cut that line off in time, and so he slips down the position. So the drivers who we saw in qualifying, I think it's the ones probably to watch, are really coming towards the head of the field here, as Elliot Norris is not the wheel wrong thus far, and then the rest of them sliding through Graham Hill Bend. It's so treacherous on the damp circuit. These drivers, we actually we've got a spin a little bit lower down the order. That is the number 32 car, unfortunately, no, it's number 30 car, apologies. And so that is Charlie King. That's a great shame, because Charlie was up in 12 from a much more lowly grid position than that, so he gained 7 positions. Unfortunately, he's rotated them away as back to the head of the field, and we have still got Elliot Norris, who is leading away from in 2nd place. Rob Chappell, 3rd place is Achille Corbellati, 4th place is Charles Bowman, 5th place is Glenn Freeman, 6th place is Mark Lewis, 7th place is number 21, he's going well, it's Gary Dixon, 8th place is number 88, Oliver Livington, 9th place is the 55 car Simon Johnson, then rounding out the top 10 at the moment is Paul Hawthorne in car 99. Again, Glenn Freeman leaving the door wide open. Is that Corbellati? It's Corbellati who slips off the podium, so he is demoted by Charles Bowman. So it is Elliot Norris who is there in the lead of the race. Elliot Norris attempting to drive clear as Corbellati and Bowman make contact at Graham Hill Bend, and Achille Corbellati went for a move up the inside and couldn't quite find his way through, so he slips back behind Charles Bowman. So Elliot Norris, the 31-year-old director, who he cites his favourite circuit as the Brands Hatch Indy circuit. He's putting that to very good effect thus far, as he sprints away at the head of the field in 2nd place, and actually looking relatively settled at the moment is the 28-year-old Robert Chappell, who hails from Norwich, the director, although he is just beginning to come under a little bit of pressure here from Charles Bowman. And it's Bowman who set the fast lap of the race last time around with 1 minute 2.245. So Charles Bowman, the British Racing Green 77 car, is possibly on the move, because he closes already on the tail of Robert Chappell as they arrive into Druids. Everybody cleanly through Druids, but I think it's only a matter of time here before Bowman finds his way through and then possibly begins to reel in Elliot Norris as well. So Norris over the curbs on the inside of the Graham bend. He finds the traction there, and the reason for that is that if they hit that line of fluid, you can see mid-corner, as Robert Chappell did, the rear of the car, tries to overtake the front with a little bit of a slide, and that is going to give Bowman the golden opportunity possibly to challenge either into clearways, as we've got one who has gone into the rail track and unfortunately is going to go no further from there. That's in the midfield. We'll pick out who that was in a moment's time, as that also, for Charles Bowman, takes away his best overtaking opportunity really on the land, because he's going to get a very good run here on Robert Chappell, unless he's able to make that move stick before they get to yellow flags, which is going to be touch and go. And well, still touch and go. They continue to race into Palakill Bend, but it's Chappell who holds on in second position. And yeah, it's fair enough, because Bowman, although he's in fast lap racing, wasn't able to quite draw alongside to Robert Chappell. So it remains as it is, with Elliot Norris in the race, Robert Chappell in second, Charles Bowman in third. Fourth place is Achille Corbellati, fifth place is Glenn Freeman, sixth place is Mark Lewis. The recovery vehicle going out, so we're going to have wave yellow flags here at Palakill Bend for the certainly foreseeable future in this race. We'll just pick out who it was in a moment's time as they all I think it's probably the 33 car, unfortunately, Crispin Hardy, that has gone missing. Yeah, there is Crispin Hardy, the car that's gone off at Palakill Bend, as Charles Bowman not quite on the train just yet, but Rob Chappell. But the crucial element here is that Chappell's just that fastest lap of the race, and they're both closing in on the race. They've Elliot Norris, and again they, well, I guess the red mist is down, so they're only seeing red, because again they go in at quite some speed into Palakill Bend, but they emerge in the order in which they entered. They didn't really race through it, so nothing untoward there, as this leading trio now close up very nicely, because Elliot Norris has been reeled in by Robert Chappell, who's brought Charles Bowman with him for company. So those three are going to sort themselves out. We've got a spin at the bottom of Graham Hill Bend, and that is nicely reversed out of the way from Andrew Cross. It'll be just that as Corbellati goes around as well in avoidance, and so it now gets very... Corbellati rejoining the circuit. He executes a perfect three-point turn. He's going to lose out to Paul Hawthorne, so he slides down into 10th position as this leading trio continue to fight away. And that gap is really coming down. What about the recovery of Crispin Hardy's car? It's going to be at least another lap of wave yellow flags. We've got 7.5 minutes left on the clock, so we're just at half race distance, and we have got already a classic Caterham encounter shaping up at the very head of the field. Now this is going to be really interesting, because the wave flags are out, they can't overtake, they're in amongst the back markers, so this is effectively going to act as a safety car, as we have Mark Lewis going to remove on Glenn Freeman into Palakill Bend, and Mark will be well advised to give that position back to Glenn as they climb up the hill towards Druids, which he doesn't do, slightly grudging nonetheless, as it gets very congested in amongst the back markers through Druids for the leading trio. The positions don't change, but they go either side of one of the cars a little bit lower down the order. They close up Elliot Norris again, and they catch a slower car through Graham Hill Bend. It's going to be incredibly treacherous, but they all cleanly make it through. They try and find their way past Andrew Barwick in car 66, which they do, but now the leading three cars are running absolutely live astern. Glenn Freeman has found his way now back past Mark Lewis, but what a battle at the head of the field. These three must be thoroughly enjoying their first ever car race, because they're giving us some great entertainment, and they really are racing very hard. There's Charles Bowman, who's got an excellent run, possibly through clearways as the snatch vehicle goes behind the barrier. We should see the yellow flags retracted by the time these leading three cars arrive into Paddock. This is exactly what we wanted to see as they go three abreast into Paddock. It's Bowman to the inside, is the race leader in the middle of the circuit, and around the outside was Rob Chappell, so it's Elliot Norris who continues in lead the race. Chappell has a bit of a twitch at the bottom of Palakill Bend. He remains in second position. It's then Glenn Freeman in fourth, Mark Lewis in fifth, sixth place, and having made some great progress up through the field. To look at Livingston, he's gained 6 positions from where he qualified, as down to Graham Hill Bend, and still Elliot Norris who has got an advantage over Rob Chappell, and they both get a big slide through Graham Hill Bend, so we're looking at a real charge towards Surtees from the leading three cars, and it's still Elliot Norris who's just got the advantage through Surtees. Another big slide from Rob Chappell. This is going to be Charles Bowman's opportunity, surely into clearways, because Chappell has to go very defensive as they turn through clearways. We have got news of a drive-through penalty for cars 66 and 3, and that's overtaken onto yellows, no surprise there. So unfortunately Adrian Barwick is going to have a drive-through penalty, so is the number 3 car, as we've got a potential change for second, and through he goes in second is Charles Bowman. So Charles Bowman goes through in second. It's Paul Lewis who's the other driver who is going to be serving drive-through penalty now as Bowman made that move on Rob Chappell for second. It's enabled Elliot Norris to build a very slight advantage. We've got just 5 minutes left in this race. We've got somebody who's gone around up at Druids, and I think it's Rob Chappell who's gone round. So Rob Chappell, second place in the race. He recovers on the CCTV monitor, and he's going to rejoin in 8th or 9th position, I think, as the leading duo. Now, it is accelerate on towards 30s. This is proving to be an absolutely thrilling race, as Elliot Norris is coming under real pressure from Charles Bowman. So the two drivers who are there at the very front of the grid are continuing this really concentrated dive within the field. Norris at the moment is just riding out the pressure. Glenn Freeman is therefore up into 3rd position. We've got just 4.5 minutes left on the clock. Now, what can Elliot Norris do about trying to drive away from Charles Bowman? We will see. So over the line they come, and the gap between Norris and Bowman is 1 second. They've got Glenn Freeman for 3rd, Mark Lewis in 4th. Livingston up into 5th place. He's really having a great drive. He's challenging Mark Lewis. So Oliver Livingston, the 29-year-old from Basingstoke, who is property developer by trade, is also showing he's a pretty handy race driver, as he really is relishing these damp conditions. With another car that's gone on a Paddock Hill Bend, who is going to drive through the gravel track and rejoin a little bit lower down the order. So this is turning into a topsy-turvy race, but the drivers ahead of the field, as Mark Lewis has a big slide through gravel bend, the drivers at the top of the fields haven't put a wheel wrong. We've got still at the end of the field Elliot Norris from Charles Bowman. So Norris Road, we've got another spinner, that is 82, so Rob Chappell, his second spin in as many laps. Well, he got through it, right? Unfortunately, he's not got Hill Bend right. This time we've got another spin up at Clearways, so a spin up at Clearways, can't see who that is as well. Charles Bowman, Zebra Crescent Cello, Glenn Freeman actually isn't that far back either, and Charles Bowman, what he needs to do is just get his head down with him. A couple of sister corners here, get himself onto the tail of Elliot Norris, and then really challenge Norris towards Paddock Hill Bend for the final time. They are going to come onto the tail of some of the slower runners between now and the end of the race, and that again is going to turn things a little bit on their head. They're going to be lapping the number 23 car next, and that is Mark Cox. They're also going to be lapping Stephen Cook as well at number 13, as we've got right on the tail of the race leader, Charles Bowman. So Bowman's had an excellent run through Graham Bend. He's really on the tail of Elliot Norris. Norris is going to have to go very defensive into Surtees. Oh, he's through Surtees into Clearways, I mean, and that's exactly what he does, but he might run a little bit wide. This is going to be Charles Bowman's best opportunity in the race, because he draws alongside the race leader Elliot Norris as they accelerate onto Brown Straight. This is going to be going into the final lap of the race. It's absolutely thrilling stuff, and it's Bowman who's just got his nose ahead of Elliot Norris as they arrive at Paddock Hill Bend for the final time, absolutely side by side on the brakes. Who is going to prevail? Well, it's Norris who's got the inside line. He's got the car turned through the corner. Now, will he come the inside line on the Rams Druids? Yes, he does. That is superb driving for the pair of them, and they handled that like seasoned pros. Although it's Bowman who's looking to the outside of Norris as the back marker spins in front of them. They both remain as they were, and so it's Norris who's going to lose out to Bowman. Charles Bowman goes through around the outside of Elliot Norris, who had no choice really, because we had, unfortunately, Stephen Cook, I think he was. No, it's Mark Cox who spun right in front of him. So Elliot Norris, having led all race long, is unfortunately demoted in second. Charles Bowman is who has claimed the lead on the very final lap of the race. But what can Elliot Norris do about slipstreaming his way past Charles Bowman? They are now going to come up a lap to Stephen Cook, number 13. The Bowman's going to pour run through Clearways. It's going to be a great race to the line as they accelerate through, but Norris gets it wrong as well. He gets a huge slide, gets out of the throttle, so the checker flag is ready and waiting, and it's going to be Charles Bowman who doesn't win it on the, yes he does, the checker flag goes out. It's Charles Bowman who wins it. Elliot Norris is in second place. Glenn Freeman in car 7 taking 3rd place. What a brilliant race from the Autosport Caterham Academy. Akile Corbalati in car 27 is in 4th place. 5th place goes the way of number 21. That is Gary Dixon. 6th place, and he's on service drive-through penalty, I would venture. Unfortunately, is number 55.